Say what?
Cut! No, man. You're making me fall asleep. To death, bro. Okay, the line is... Say what?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at a YouTube channel called The Potter's Clay. It's a flat earth religious channel. These people are the worst. They prey on people's, core Christianity values and try to preach to them through false Bible verses and cherry picking of the Bible. And they try to use that to gain a narrative to con people out of their money, make them look like they're above other people and that they're smarter than other people, and that the other people that are listening that don't know these things are just ignorant. I'm going to be focusing a lot, I'm going to tell you now, on this YouTube channel. I'm going to dismantle everything that these scumbags are saying. The reason for that is because of the way they're going about doing the things that they're saying. You'll see it in this video. They're complete and utter dishonesty, complete foolish questions and answers that they're given are blatantly, they know these are false answers. They know these answers are false. And because of the path that they've chosen to take to push their narrative, I'm going to destroy them. So sit back, enjoy.
Say what?
Alright guys, so this is an old one. This is an old question. It's been debunked. It's been explained a million times. It's rockets in space do the same thing they do in our atmosphere. Every action, Newton's third law of motion, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. What these people don't understand is they think that because there's no oxygen in space, that our rockets don't work. They don't realize that our rockets bring their own oxygen as fuel. It's a fuel and an air mixture that are both together. One nozzle shoots out oxygen and the other nozzle shoots out the fuel. That's what ignites it. We don't need oxygen in space to fire our rockets because we bring our oxygen with us. Old question, been debunked, been explained. They know this. They know the answer to this. They are just conmen and they're scumbags. So, but there's the answer. Let's continue on destroying this thing.
Say what?
Okay, so I'm just going to start doing these two at a time because, well, it's about a 10-minute video and quite frankly, they're pretty stupid ass questions. But anyway, so the first one was some kind of a Bible verse saying that the earth was God's footstool and how it said that the earth was round and without movement or whatever. Okay, first of all, I don't believe that everything in the Bible is literal. I don't think that God was kicking back up on the moon or Saturn or Jupiter, however tall he is, and propping his feet up on Earth. I mean, that's just stupid. So when these Bible-thumping idiots take verses out of the Bible out of context and try to make them like a literal thing, That aggravates the shit out of me. Obviously, Earth isn't a footstool, and even if it was a footstool, it does not mean that it was flat. That he's referring to it as flat. Now, when they say how the Bible says the Earth is round and immovable, whatever, what shape is a sphere? If you look at it in any angle you look at a sphere. So I want you to go pick up a basketball, hold it away from your face, and look at it. What shape is that? Any way you look at that ball, it's round. So that stupidity is debunked. Now, for this next one, where's flat Earth in the Bible? Where does the Bible say flat Earth? That was referring to David and his, I think it was brothers, when they were pitching tents, and they were talking about it being on a flat ground, not a flat Earth. I mean, it said flat Earth, but they didn't mean the whole Earth. They were pitching tents. Do you pitch tents on a hill that pointed that's shaped like this, or do you try to find the flattest, levelest ground when you pitch your tent? That's what that phrase meant. I love how they cherry pick it, but it doesn't work for me, because I will pick up a Bible and I'll read that verse, especially when they give me the book and the chapter. So thanks for giving me all that info, but I suggest everybody goes reads that verse. That's what it was referring to. I don't put much stock into the Bible. The Bible to me is a fictional book. There's no proof that God exists. There's no proof that the Bible is true. I don't have a low opinion of people who believe in God and believe in the Bible. More power to you. I believe that Christianity serves a purpose. It makes people a better person, for the most part. It makes most people better people. And anything that makes people a better person, I'm all for. So it's okay for me. It's just not something I personally believe in. I'm not an atheist. I'm agnostic, because I can never disprove God, but nobody could ever prove God to me. So therefore, I'm agnostic. But let's move on and see what these conmen have to say.
Say what?
So this is one of my favorite arguments, guys. They like to say how the camera wasn't modified, and how they took so many pictures, and how did they take so many pictures. First of all, the pictures that they're saying they took in 33 minutes or something like that's not true. First of all, Aldrin walked on the moon for an hour and 33 minutes, and Neil Armstrong didn't enter back into the lander rover for another 41 minutes after that. They had 3 Hasselblad 70mm cameras with an 80mm Zeus lenses. Okay, now these cameras, they had autofocus. They was able to take pictures automatically up to 24 shots per second. What else? But anyway, they had 3 of them. They even had an RCA TV camera that was mounted with all the assembly parts where the astronaut, what's his name, Collins or whatever, that stayed in the thing. He stayed back. He was able to control it, and when they hooked it to all the assemblies, Mission Control could take pictures. So these people, all these stories you hear about, how do they do this with one camera? They didn't. They had like 4 different cameras there. They were mounted on the suits at chest level, and on the handle of them was just like a trigger. They could just squeeze it. All they had to do was squeeze the trigger and took pictures. You know what I mean? So, this is what I mean by people. These people like to take misinformation. They do it on purpose. Nobody's this stupid. Nobody. Anybody can look up information about NASA, about the moon landings, about flat Earth. all this stuff. Some people just know some of these things offhand. I have to study. I have to look up a lot of things, and I have to read up on it. Most of these are just things I happen to know, because I love physics and I love science. So, ow, cut myself. So, I mean, not everything, but some things. But the camera thing, I was hoping they'd come up with that because I've known this for a long time. Um, I'm gonna show you pictures of both setups of the cameras they used and the RCA camera setup, and here they are. Okay, so those were the cameras. Now, on the curvature, we see we're living on a planet that is 24,000 miles in circumference. We are teeny tiny little things. I can zoom up right now on a basketball. I can zoom up on a tennis ball, and it'll look like a flat surface if I can zoom in low enough. Doesn't mean anything. Just because you look at the horizon and it's flat, what's it going to look like? That's what we expect to see on a planet that's as big as our planet. Flat earthers have an issue with scale. They don't understand that they're itty bitty. The planet is huge freaking mongus. Okay? Secondly, we see effects of curvature every single day. Okay? One effect of curvature is boats, when they sail away, they disappear from the bottom up. How about that? That's curvature. When they come towards us, they appear from mast down. They like to call perspective on this. Perspective, angular resolution, all these things go hand in hand. They want to say how things, the further away they get, the more they disappear. They want to say how things disappear from the bottom up when you're looking straight at them. No, they don't. Thanks to conspiracy cats and Ranty Flat Earth, Ranty Flat Earth, he's a flat earther. He proved this, guys. He proved this. He went out on like one of them 100-meter dashes, tracks, put these two little plastic things on the ground, and went 100 meters away, and put a scanner and zoomed in on them and could see the whole thing, top to bottom. Proof right there. But anyway, curvature of the earth is seen every day. Some people are just too ignorant to accept it. They'd rather accept because they see a horizon that's flat. Oh, that means we live on a flat earth. It's just pure ignorance. It's just an argument from ignorance. There's no other way around it. So there's that.
Say what?
This is just ignorant. It's going to take me 2 seconds to debunk it. Seismograph. We have seismometers everywhere across Earth. A seismograph is basically a sonogram of the interior of the Earth. The way it doesn't work very well through fluid, and it totally shows the shape of the core of the Earth, and the way the waves move through the molten core. It lays it out perfectly. If you don't believe that that's a thing, well, go to the hospital or go to a mom's association and tell every mom how they didn't see pictures of their babies through a sonogram. Basically the same thing, especially nowadays when you can damn near see their whole face and every detail of their body. Debunked. Thank you. Alright, so this picture proves to me that these people know what they're doing and know what they're talking about, and that they're being deceptive on purpose. The picture of the lunar lander with no tire marks, it hadn't moved yet. They had just set that down. It was attached to the lunar module, and they took it down by a remote control arm, or I'm not sure if it was remote controlled or if it was like levered, you know what I mean? But that picture, very, very popular picture. It was a picture. It's been debunked. It's actually sitting right next to the rover. You can't see the rover, and they purposely cherry-picked that picture where the rover wasn't in it to show you it's sitting there with no marks yet. It hadn't been moved yet. And as far as the Curiosity rover, I was hoping they'd hit this too, and it's an awesome thing. The difference between the two, a drone that we use to bomb people, doesn't have the batteries that the Curiosity rover does. A lot of people think the Curiosity rover is solar powered, and it is not. The first rovers on Mars were solar powered. We learned from that due to the dust buildup of Mars. Mars has a lot of dust tornadoes and dust storms, and it several days our rovers would be down because they wouldn't charge. Well, we fixed that by the Mars Curiosity rover has a nuclear powered charger. What it does is the plutonium heats up as it decays, and then I think it's plutonium 238. It produces heat when it decays, which in turn creates an 110 watts of an electrical charge, which charges the batteries on the rover. That's why it's almost a 4 or 5 year battery life. I'm pretty sure that they knew this, but I can't be certain that they knew this, but even a Google search for this would, I'm sure, turn this out. So that's how the batteries on the Curiosity rover charge. Nuclear power, decaying, creating heat, causing an electrical current of 110 watts, which in turn charges the batteries on the rover. Case dismissed. Stupid question debunked. Let's see what else they got.
Say what?
Okay, so I'm going to end this video with this. I'm going to try to get all these stupid things that they said in this last bullshit here. Okay, first of all, what did they say? Who are visible? Okay, there are certain pictures that have been taken that only occur very seldom. Like there's a Chicago picture that happens from time to time when refraction and things are perfect. Only when the conditions are perfect for this picture to be taken. Every other day of the year, the picture cannot be done. This has to do with refraction and the way light moves. Light will move up or down depending on the density of the air, whether it's hot, cold. Cold air will make light bend down, and I mean it dramatically bend down. And these flat earthers like to say, oh, so what is a rays in the city? No, we see light. That's what we see. We see the light. So when we see it, it's the light. It's not worse. It's not raising it up. It's all light. So, that's a whole different ball game. I'm not a medical doctor or anything. So all I know is that we see light. That's what we see. And everything else is a remnant of that. But anyway, Buzz Aldrin wasn't doing a 666. That's just so stupid, man. If somebody's paparazzi's following you around 24 hours a day, and you do anything, they could take anything you do out of concept. take it and say, oh, look at, they're a Booker worshiper or whatever. It doesn't make sense. These guys are cherry picking. It's all these flat earthers do is cherry pick, cherry pick, cherry pick. They try to find things that they can just to prove that's what their whole purpose is. They like to call themselves truth seekers. If they're truth seekers, then why did they delete my comment? Why didn't they answer me? Why didn't they say, hey, no, we're godly people, and we're trying to bring proof and truth to the people? Because they know that I would demolish them. So now I'm going to demolish every one of their videos. So I hope they have fun with that. And I let them know that I was going to, so I gave them heads up. But the whole table thing, it's a deception. They lower the camera right below the table, just barely below the table, so that you can't see. So that's basically all that, just camera tricks. Now the Tuesday at 10:30 London time, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be debating a guy called Brian's Logic. He's a flat earther. I'm going to be debating him on a channel called Rainy Flat Earth. If you guys like to find out, I'd like you guys to come and check me out. I'm going to demolish this guy. He's one of these guys that don't understand Coriolis, doesn't understand perspective, doesn't understand angular resolution, doesn't understand parallax. He doesn't understand much of anything. He thinks that because a pendulum swings and we can use a pendulum to find out our latitude, which should be proof enough to these people that we're spinning, but it isn't. They think that because it's going back and forth that it should spin with the Earth. Well, it's not. It's in its own reference frame, separate from its frame. The frame itself is spinning with the Earth, but it's not. He thinks that a helicopter should go up in the air, the Earth should spin underneath it, and he should better just come back down in Los Angeles. Go to Dallas, Texas, raise up, wait a few hours, and come back down in Los Angeles. It's just not. That's not the way it goes. Our atmosphere and our Earth, they move in one. Yeah, and they move as one. So they're two separate entities, but they move as one. They can be treated as a single reference frame. So sorry if you don't understand that. It's not my problem. But go ahead, watch the channel. It's called Rainy Flat Earth. Everybody, y'all take care, and I'll see you on the next one. So I'm going to end this video with two things. One, flat Earth destruction, guys. Okay. I'm still waiting on any flat earther to explain sunrise and sunset. And I don't want to hear it gets further away, because I've already proved in another video it doesn't. Well, I didn't prove it. Red's Rhetoric proved it, but I showed it. And this picture right here destroys flat Earth. Have a good day.
So in the image of the mountain, the clouds are obviously above the mountain. I mean, is there really any question? It's obviously above the mountain. I mean, you can see light between the top of the mountain and the clouds. Keep that fact in mind, as it will prove to be important the further we get into P-Brain's argument. The sun, at sunset, is shining its light from beneath the clouds, due to the angle of the light coming from the sun. On a flat Earth, if the sun was only 3,000 miles high,